Alright guys, so welcome back to another Road to Platinum video. Today we are here with Control, of course, as you guys can see in the background. If you guys don't know how these videos work, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Platinum, how long it took, and then give an overall review about the game. I also will be starting off with some general information about the game. So let's hop straight into it. Today we are here with Control, as I said. Control is an action-adventure game that came out in August 2019. You play the role of Jessie, who is looking for her lost brother. You have to battle a thing called the Hiss, which is everywhere and destroying everything. The version of Control I'm showing off today is the Ultimate Edition. This comes with both DLCs, the Foundation and Awe. This came out last year as a PS5 title on PS Plus. It came out, I want to say around December of last year, something like that. I don't remember fully. There's also a PS4 version of the Ultimate Edition, and then there's the base PS4 version of the game. With that said, let's hop straight into the Platinum part of the video. It took me a total of 17 hours to Platinum this game. It could have been longer if I decided 100% the DLC, both the DLCs, but I did not. I did play fully through both of them, so yeah, I played through both of them, but I did not platinum them, or I did not get all the trophies for the DLCs.
Something happened before I could get
So the platinum isn't necessarily hard. The game itself is very difficult. It's very challenging. There is an assist mode that you can do if it gets that hard. I only ever used it once when I was just bored and finishing up the board countermeasures and things like that. So I just used it to speed some stuff up. So you can complete the platinum way faster if you use the assisted mode.
this
The platinum,
thing.
you can expect to have a majority of it done by the time you finish the main campaign, to be honest. But things like collectible and ability points, if you're not focused on those, you're not gonna have them done by the end of the campaign. Period. You're just not. The only tip I really have for the platinum itself is when you go for the ability points, play through the Foundation DLC, because you get roughly 20 extra ability points or so, and it's only 3 or 4 missions, so you can beat it in like 3-4 hours maybe. I beat it in about 4. I would rate the platinum difficulty with 10 being the hardest to 3. It's not hard, it's not easy, but it's all possible. You know what I mean? It's nothing stupid. It's not a hard game to do like Demon Slayer, but it is one of those games where it's gonna take you a little bit to get used to it, and it's gonna take a little while to actually start playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, to start just fucking understanding how it works. But now let's head over to like the review segment of the video. So first off, let's start off with gameplay. I think the gameplay is really nice and it works really well. You have multiple abilities in this game and multiple weapons. The abilities are launching objects at people, levitating, shield bash, shield, and seizing enemies. All these are self-explanatory except for seizing enemies, which is taking over an enemy and he'll fight by your side for a limited amount of time until he dies. There are multiple weapons as well, such as long-range, hard-hitting pistols, machine pistol, a shotgun pistol, and a normal pistol. There are a few more weapons, but these are the only ones that I ended up using in my walkthrough of the story and also just getting the platinum. There was a charge, I believe, and one more. I don't remember the name of it. But I ended up not getting them because I just never ended up getting the resources for them during my playthrough. The story is really cool and really interesting. It's like an action horror kind of game, to be honest. There's a few moments where you're just scared. It's a really good game though. It's very interesting. It's very confusing. But yeah. Also, if you enjoy something like Alan Wake and other horror games like that, it'll work. Alan Wake is part of this universe, which is awesome. It's very strange the way the story is set up and the way the game itself is, but it adds to the scary tone the game has. So there's just a lot of very, just weirdly set up missions and things. It's all set up very weirdly, but it helps with the tone of the game. You guys will understand what I mean if you've played through like the Ocean View Hotel and stuff. It's bizarre the way some of it is set up. The level design is also something I really like about this game. The levels are designed so you can actually move around really fast and move around in a way where you're not gonna get caught up on shit. You know, like how in like some like Doom Eternal, you're expected to move around these arenas, but you sometimes you get stuck in a corner and shit. In this game, that's not really a problem because you can just move around really well in the levels. There's a lot of variety to the levels. There's a lot of height to the levels as well. Just the level designs are really good in this game. Other than that, though, there's not really much to talk about the base game. It's very short, but yeah. I'd rate the base game itself a 7 out of 10. It's a super solid game, great story, great exploration, and great combat. The game itself is roughly around 10 hours or so. You can beat it less or you could take way longer. It just depends on your play style, and it depends on just how much you decide to explore. And now let's move on to the DLC of this game. So this game had 2 DLCs released, the Awe, which is Altered World Events, and the Foundation. Let's start with the Awe DLC. This DLC introduces Alan Wake into the Control universe. And oh my god. When I played this DLC and I saw this, it was the greatest moment of this entire game. The DLC introduced... well, actually, hold on. Let me talk a little bit more about Alan Wake. The entire Awe DLC is focused around Alan Wake for the main story, and it's focused around doing, like, it has gameplay mechanics from Alan Wake. And it's so awesome because Alan Wake was one of the first horror games I ever played. Other than, like, old Resident Evils and Silent Hill, it was Alan Wake. That was the only other horror game I played other than those. And Siren. Siren was a classic if you guys played it. Highly doubt you did. But the DLC introduces a few new combat mechanics, which I think it introduced a new ability. I'm not sure if it did, and a new weapon. I'm not entirely sure because I had all of it unlocked, so I don't know what is necessarily new combat-wise, like ability-wise and stuff. There's also a super cool boss fight, which I'm not gonna get into because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. It's a really cool boss fight. It's set up. It's a long boss fight. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe even more. But it's really fun. I also love the way the DLC incorporates light, like how it was used in Alan Wake. So you pick up a lamp with your ability, and you use it to get rid of the darkness, and this helps solve puzzles, and ultimately the light helps you defeat enemies, which is just super cool. I loved it a lot. So overall, I would rate this DLC a 9 out of 10. It is really awesome. And yeah, there's not really too much to talk about. It's super solid. It's really short. This DLC can be completed in about 4 or so hours. It could be completed less, but I did do some side missions. So like you're looking at like 3 hours probably for the base story of the DLC. But the DLC, theoretically, you could probably spend like 8 or 9 hours in the DLC. Now let's talk about the Foundation DLC. The Foundation DLC is super cool. Well, fuck. Hold on. It's super cool. You get quite a bit of new abilities through the Foundation. But the new abilities are exclusive to the Foundation area, which means you can only use these abilities in the DLC itself, which kind of sucks because I like the base game more than Foundation. Like, I like exploring the base game's world more. But I gotta say, I really enjoy the way the abilities work. I also really enjoyed the environment. There was cave systems and just really colorful environments, which is not like how the base game was. The base game was very dark, and it was a lot of just being stuck in an office, but it was still really nice. This DLC is really straightforward, but this DLC is really straightforward. It kind of is an add-on to the base game. It's not. It doesn't add like a brand new story, and it doesn't add too many new things in general. But to be honest, it kind of just builds off the base game story, which is super cool. I personally enjoy when DLCs focus on like the main story rather than being set in a separate world in a separate time with separate characters. I don't like when DLCs do that. I like when they build off base games or will just focus off the like main story. That's super cool. That's kind of what this DLC does. So hold on, my fucking is all out of whack. So the new abilities that this DLC adds that are restricted to the Foundation area is you can, well, I mean, I guess it only works for the Foundation area anyway because these are only in that area. But there's these crystals you can pull out and you can make your own platforms for platforming around. And you can also break them, just like an enemy will step on them and you could shoot them and then the enemy will fall through. It's super cool. Hold on, my script got all messed up when I was talking. What the hell happened? My script got all messed up.
Who are you? Do I know you? I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane.
Okay, but with all that said about the DLC, sorry, I could not find my place. I'd rate the DLC as 6 out of 10. It's not bad, but there was just nothing new, and the story was kind of whatever compared to the base game. It wasn't anything super nuts, but it was enough to make me stay interested. This DLC can be completed in, I completed the DLC in 3 hours, but that was me like speedrunning it. If you did everything, this DLC is probably more like 10 hours as well. So if you think about it, buying the DLCs or the Ultimate Edition is technically doubling, if not adding even more playtime to the game. Because the game itself, to 100% everything, is like 16 hours probably. Because the Platinum, you don't have to 100% everything. To 100% everything, it's probably 16 hours. To 100% both DLCs combined is probably around 16 as well. But it's super cool. They also each give you special abilities, different weapons, new environments to explore, and even more side missions and collectibles and whatnot, and lore to the world. So the DLCs, I think, are definitely worth it. But my overall review of the Ultimate Edition, which is the game including the DLCs, is going to be an 8.5 out of 10. I think they're all solid. I really enjoyed it. With that said, though, that's going to be the end of our Road to Platinum video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys like that I'm keeping these shorter, about under 15 minutes usually. But yeah, with that said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys want to see on the channel in the future. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace out, guys.